Death is not the opposite of life, but a part of it. To the well-organized mind, death is but the next great adventure. Dying is an art, like everything else. Our dead are never dead to us until we have forgotten them. Death is the sound of distant thunder at a picnic. Life is a dream walking. Death is going home. Death ends a life, not a relationship. The fear of death follows from the fear of life. A man who lives fully is prepared to die at any time, for life and death are one, even as the river and the sea are one. Death is not extinguishing the light, it is only putting out the lamp because the dawn has come. Grief is the price we pay for love. No one is actually dead until the ripples they cause in the world die away. Tears shed for another person are not a sign of weakness. They are a sign of a pure heart. The reality is that you will grieve forever. You will not get over the loss of a loved one. When someone you love becomes a memory, the memory becomes a treasure. Those we love don't go away. They walk beside us every day. The song is ended, but the melody lingers on. Grief is in two parts. The first is loss. The second is the remaking of life. Death leaves a heartache no one can heal. Love leaves a memory no one can steal. Though lovers be lost, love shall not, and death shall have no dominion. It is not length of life, but depth of life. We all die. The goal isn't to live forever. The goal is to create something that will. While I thought that I was learning how to live, I have been learning how to die. Do not fear death so much, but rather the inadequate life. A thing is not necessarily true because a man dies for it. The dead cannot cry out for justice. It is the duty of the living to do so for them. All men think all men mortal but themselves. Death is nothing to us. When we are, death has not come. And when death has come, we are not. Cowards die many times before their deaths. The valiant never taste of death but once. Every man must do two things alone. He must do his own believing and his own dying. To die will be an awfully big adventure. Don't cry because it's over. Smile because it happened. The day which we fear as our last is but the birthday of eternity. Death is peaceful. Life is harder. The idea is to die young, as late as possible. Life asked death, "Why do people love me but hate you?" Death replied, "Because you are a beautiful lie and I am a painful truth." Guilt is perhaps the most painful companion to death. After your death, you will be what you were before your birth. The grave itself is but a covered bridge leading from light to light through a brief darkness. The boundaries which divide life from death are at best shadowy and vague. Our fingerprints don't fade from the lives we've touched. The life of the dead is placed in the memory of the living. What you leave behind is not what is engraved in stone monuments, but what is woven into the lives of others. To live in hearts we leave behind is not to die. When you are sorrowful, look again in your heart, and you shall see that in truth you are weeping for that which has been your delight. There is no death, only a change of worlds. Death doesn't erase someone from your life, it transforms their presence. To die is to be awake forever. What is lovely never dies, but passes into other loveliness. The body dies, but the soul lives on. For dust you are, and to dust you shall return. Death is the gateway to eternal life. Let life be beautiful like summer flowers, and death like autumn leaves. The soul takes flight to the world that is invisible. As a well-spent day brings happy sleep, so a life well used brings happy death. God himself took a day to rest in, and a good man's grave is his Sabbath. Death is not the end, it is simply a doorway to eternity. Blessed are those who mourn, for they shall be comforted. The fear of death is worse than death itself. I am the resurrection and the life. He who believes in me will live even though he dies. The more you learn about death, the more you learn about life. Each day, we live in the shadow of death. Death is the destination we all share. No one has ever escaped it. You can't truly appreciate life until you've faced death. Death is the mother of beauty. Life is eternal, and love is immortal, and death is only a horizon. Without death, life would lose its purpose. Even death is not grand to be feared by one who has lived wisely. Death is a release, not a punishment. What we once enjoyed and deeply loved, we can never lose, for all that we love deeply becomes a part of us.